You all are having a fabulous week. I'm just going to go ahead and preface this. I'm on Google Hangout doing the Google Hangout. It took me about 4 tries to get into this. So it seems that Google was having a little bit of an issue with the Hangout. So I'm hoping that we are doing okay. I'm just trying to watch the bottom of the screen here, making sure that it stays connected. And so far, so good. Those of you joining live, welcome and thank you for joining me. It is Tuesday Training Day. Doesn't everybody love Tuesdays? I certainly like them a lot. This week, for our weekly topic, we are going to be talking about host coaching. So if this is a new term to you, if you're sitting there wondering, what the heck is host coaching? This is totally the call for you. You guys will definitely want to be paying attention to this. This is something that I found in my business when I first started. It took me quite a while to kind of get myself in the mindset. So for those of you who are newer consultants or just joining, then I hope that this is finding you at the perfect time, because you can save yourselves a lot of time by learning this early on in your Scentsy journey. Whereas people like me who didn't catch on till later. So hopefully this will help you to be able to increase your sales for your host. Now, when we talk about our hosts, obviously, we are really working and trying to do our hosts the best justice we can give them, right? We want them to have all the tools they need to be able to have a successful party. And you want to be able to really define what a successful party is for not only yourself, but for your host, because your host needs to know what their goals need to be. For example, when they are having a party, they want to know, how much in sales do I need to get to until my rewards kick in, right? That's what we want. That's what we really want to know. So we need to make sure that our hosts know that. And that's all going to come in that host coaching piece. Like I said, guys, this is not something that I started doing from the beginning. And obviously, my sales suffered in my parties. I mean, it's not like they all suffered, but I mean, I've sold a business. But I probably could have done a heck of a lot better. And I will be the first to say that there have been some parties where I haven't gotten to do host coaching for whatever reason it could be. Maybe the party just went too quickly and we ran out of time, or we booked the party and then the party happened and then we put it on pause and then we picked it back. I don't know. There's been situations, obviously, over the years where I haven't, it's just not gotten done. And obviously I've noticed a difference in those. So I really try and make it a priority to try and get that host coaching in every single time I have a party. And I've seen it done a handful of different ways. So I'm just going to share with you some ideas and tips that I have kind of learned along the way, and some ideas that I've seen and heard from other consultants who do their host coaching, to try and give you some examples. So again, remember, all the information that you obtain when you're working your business, when you're watching videos like this, and working with your team or your sponsor or your upline, the whole point in all of this is to network, get those ideas, and then really form them around your business and make them work for you and how they're best going to work for you. Remember, one of the best things that I love is that Scentsy is not a cookie cutter business. Okay, it's not something you can just pick out of the box and then you do it this way and you will have success every time. No, there's a lot of different variables in there. And for a lot of you, including myself, there's a lot of variables in our lives, right? We've got schedules or kids or jobs or school or what have you that we work our business around. So we have to be flexible in a lot of different ways. And being able to branch out and have parties in different ways is another great way to be able to work it around her business. What I mean by that is when I'm talking more about like a bag party or a pouch party, or even if it's a Facebook party, just because you're having a out of the box party, not really a home party where you traditionally go to somebody's house and they've invited their friends or family or neighbors and you do a whole product demonstration. That's like your traditional party. Our untraditional parties, our out of the box parties, our bag parties, our pouch parties, our Facebook parties. If you maybe do a Google Hangout party, I've seen some people do Skype parties before. They've done that. I've seen people using Periscope for parties. You know, there's a lot of different ways. So think out of the box. You know what, you have to look at it this way, guys. When you are looking at booking your party, you want to make it easy on your host, because of course, the easier that it is for your host to have a party, the more likely they're going to have that party, right? You want to be able to literally let them sit back and let the party happen. Now, we want that to an extent, but at the same time, we can send out invitations, or your host can send out invitations, even make personalized phone calls. But if we aren't really doing our host coaching piece and we're not really following through with our hosts and our parties, then we've kind of got to disconnect. So we've got to bridge that gap, and we've got to be able to maintain the high level of excitement it was when they booked the party all the way until they have the party. And then maybe after the party, if they're going to collect any additional outside orders, all the way till closing. Okay, we've got to keep that excitement and anticipation. We want that up there and high and in their face, right? Because the more excited a host is about having their Scentsy party, the more excited their guests are going to be. It's just true. Sorry, I have a little bit of allergies happening today, which is better than last week, because last week I had laryngitis. So lucky you guys, I get to talk today. No, I'm going to do this real quick, and I want to get some training in.
But I want to be in your show.
Well, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And let them know what is today.
Today is Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday. So what did you get after school? What did we stop and get after school?
We stopped and got tacos.
Tacos. All right, go eat your tacos, and then go watch your show. Because when I'm done with this, we're gonna cook dinner.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm drinking blood.
You're weird. Okay, go. Mwah. Mommy will be out. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so let's talk about some host coaching. What's involved in host coaching? What the heck is it? Obviously, it's coaching our host. Now, when I talk about this, I want you to kind of keep this kind of on the same field. Again, regardless of what kind of party we're having, whether it's an online Facebook party or whatever online party, or if it's a bag pouch party, or if it's a home party, you're going to do the same host coaching. Make it easy on yourself, okay? Because once you start doing it, and once you get into the routine and the habit of doing it, it's just going to be second nature after too long. And before you know it, your hosts, because they're going to have so much success and they're going to love Scentsy, that they're going to end up being repeat hosts. And you're going to notice that each time they repeat, they're learning more about Scentsy themselves, and they're able to kind of maintain that excitement. So I've got a nice handful of hosts that are repeat hosts for me. So they have kind of gotten to the point to where I don't really need to do a whole lot of host coaching with these particular hosts, because again, they've done it plenty of times and they kind of have their own little rhythm of doing it, and they are out of state when they're doing this. So there was a lot of host coaching for me in the beginning, but it's obviously paid off, because not only are they returning hosts, but now they're in the rhythm too. They know what to expect. They know how it's going to work. and they're able to kind of be informed and keep their customers and their guests informed too. So then that way they continue to have those good quality parties that they love, because the whole point of doing them is so they can get the host rewards and get their Scentsy at free and half price. I want them to get that because they're doing parties for me. I want them to get the things that are on their wish list, because as soon as you hand somebody a catalog, and when you're talking to them and you're going down the booking path and you're talking about having a party, whatever party it is, and that your host, they have either probably ordered from you previously, or if there's somebody brand new just seeing their catalog for the first time, obviously they're going to have a really long wish list, because as soon as they start flipping through that thing, they're going to find so many things that they want. And that is really, I know, baby, it's okay. And that is really a great thing, because by being able to encourage them to create a wish list of items that they have their eye on, that they would like to have, what that's able to do is then to give them a goal to aim for. So just like we create goals in our business for ourselves to keep us motivated, we want to do the same thing for our host. So think of it that way. We want to make sure that our host has a goal for what they want, because maybe their goal is they want to get a diffuser at half price. So they've got to get to that $400 price point so they can have the 2 half price items to be able to get that diffuser at the half price discount, right? So now we know what our minimum goal is for our party. We need a minimum goal of $400 in sales to be able to get our host to that point so she or he can get their diffuser at half price. That's our goal. So we've defined that goal. So then what we do after we've done that and gotten to that point is we now need to fill our hosts in. We need to really make sure that our hosts are informed about Scentsy. Because if this is somebody who, again, is brand new to Scentsy, maybe they don't know or aren't as familiar with some of the more popular deals, like our combine and save on our bars, our buy 3 for $14, these are US prices, or the buy 5, get 1 free in the 6-pack, 6 bars for $25. These are really great tools that host is really going to want to have. I do the same thing in my host coaching. I'm going to reference back to my repeat hosts, right? The ones that I had done the host coaching with a couple of years back, and they continue to host for me. The brass tacks that I kind of get down to every time they host a new party for me is, don't forget, let your customers know about the 3 or the 6-pack bar special, because you really want to push those. Those are going to be your big sellers. Because for my customers, and I know their customers now at this point, I know that they're there for the scents and they want bars. Because the majority of us out there who adore our Scentsy and we love our Scentsy, we want to keep changing our wax. So that 3 and 6-pack specials, those are huge, because being able to highlight those not only for our host, so she knows, so she can tell her guests and customers what they're going to want to order to get the best deal, but that's also going to be able to help that host, because if they have a customer or a guest at their party who is familiar with Scentsy and is like, oh, I've got like 3 warmers, I'm like, yeah, but don't forget, it's 3 bars for $14. Don't you at least need some bars? Oh yeah, I guess I probably do need some new scents. So even if they're a customer at that point, then that reminder of that bar special, that combine and save, is really going to kind of push them to ordering it in that quantity. Not only that, but it's a deal. And I want my customers and my guests and my host guests to get the best deal. Because how do I buy my Scentsy? I buy it in the 3 or the 6-pack, because that's a smart way to do it. And when I'm being my own host, I'm able to get like a 6-pack either with my host credit, so I'm getting it for free, or I'm using it as a half price item. Even cheaper that way, right? So, and this is a Scentsy corporate special. Well, I keep referencing it as a special, but it's a combine and save deal. It's a standard combine and save deal. It's in the catalog, guys. So this is nothing you need to shy away from by saying, oh, I don't want to say something out of compliance or post anything out of compliance. That is perfectly within compliance because it's in the book. Everybody can get it at that price and that deal, right? So it's perfectly fine to be sharing it in a public forum. I really want you guys to remember that point for when we go over marketing next week, because marketing your business, that's really key. But that's also, again, reminding that host, because if they're new, or even if they're a host that's done this quite a few times, it's always a great reminder, because again, those are where your sales are going to really boost by being able to use a lot of those combined and saves. So the first thing that I do with my host coaching is I kind of just do a quick, I'm fumbling with the right words to say, because I want to say a catalog walk, but I don't want you to feel like you literally have to like do a whole catalog walkthrough with them. They've either flipped through that catalog before. If it's truly their first time looking through that catalog, then you're probably already having those conversations. But it's just reminding them, again, I kind of do it at more of like the higher level. Okay, so I'll go over, don't forget the diffusers. Oh, look, we got a couple new diffusers in this catalog. I'll go over the element warmers. What is an element warmer? It's a warmer without a bulb. And then outline the different price points for the other warmers, the actual bulb warmers. Then that's where I kind of go into the scents, of course, you know, referencing them, where to find the scents in the catalog, and then bringing out those combine and save deals. Letting them know what those major ones are. I will usually try to highlight a few. Now for my out-of-town customers, all my out-of-state hosts, when I do this host coaching, it's through an email. And so what I do is I kind of bullet point out what I want them to know, because these are their good to know facts about a party. And so I will bullet point the 3 or the 6-pack bars. And I will normally pick 2 other combine and save deals out of the catalog. And I kind of will pick them to showcase, kind of basing it around my hosts as I know them. But I think I kind of, normally I think I leave it at the Scentsy, the perfect Scentsy. And what is the other one? The companion, I think is the other one. I've got it in my email. And I just kind of, you know, bullet point those out. And then what I do is I give them the page reference and the catalog to where they can find the combine and save deals. So I will put that in there. What I also do, if I haven't already had this conversation, is I then re-review or ask them again what their wish list looks like and what they want their goal for their party to be. How many half price items are you looking to earn with this party? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? You can do up to 6. Let's book some parties off of yours. That's how we're going to get those extra half price items. So being able to point those things out to a host is a really great tool, because again, that host is able to sit back and evaluate and go, yeah, because I know I at least need 2 warmers and I want to be able to get my wax for free for those warmers. Awesome. We are totally going to be able to do this. This is what we're going to do. And then, you know, again, referring back to those combine and saves is really going to be your key. So I really make sure that I point that out. I will also reference them, and I kind of block it out when I email them. And I will let them know that if they have returning Scentsy, or if they have customers at their party who are familiar with Scentsy, to make sure that they're checking out all of our new release scents. And so I also have it marked in there with the page in the catalog where the new releases category is of the scents. And what I do is I just kind of tell them, again, if you have customers who are returning customers, make sure that they're checking out that new releases. That's where all the new friends live in our scent world. So you just make it fun. Again, you're just pointing things out. So we've touched on their goal, what we need them to do. We've showcased our combine and save specials because those are the things that are going to be able to push our sales up for our host. And then we've also referenced for those customers at their party who are Scentsy regulars like we are, and been able to kind of highlight where the new scents live for them. So we've done that. So that's able to help them even more to boost their sales. Again, what you want to do is always circle back to two other things that we always want to remind and talk to every host. One is bookings off of their current party. What's the incentive for a host to have somebody book a party off of theirs? They get the perpetual reward when that person has their party. So they get another half price item when somebody books a party off of theirs. That's incentive, right? They're like, so when Susan has her party in 2 weeks, then I get another half price item? Yeah, cool. Then I can get that warmer that I was looking at because I really want that Ocean Mosaic warmer. Then I can get a half price. Yes. So see how you can kind of get them thinking in that direction. So what is Susan going to do? Who did I just use in my example? Was it Susan? So that host is then going to keep that in the back of her mind. Oh yeah, I get an extra half price item if I get people to book a party. So they're going to be telling their customers, oh, you totally need to do this too. You need to have a party with her too, because you're going to want these host rewards. And then I get a half price item. So will you have a party? They're really going to be talking it up. Why? Because they're excited. They want another half price item. Who doesn't want to pay 50% off on their Scentsy? I totally want to get all of my Scentsy at 50% off or for free. So yes, I will most certainly host a party. So you're able to point them out to those bookings and the incentive to them for getting those parties booked. And then of course for you, it's really great because then you're able to kind of expand your customer base off of that. The second thing that we definitely want to make sure that we are talking to every single host, the opportunity to join Scentsy. Even if this is someone who has never looked at a catalog until today, even if it's somebody who you know is just super busy and you're probably thinking in your head, there's no way they're ever going to say yes to me. You still need to plant that seed, because even though they may have this really crazy, busy, hectic schedule now, in 6 months or a year, their schedule may not be as hectic and crazy. And maybe at that year point when it's not so hectic and crazy, they're going to remember back and they're going to think about that opportunity about being able to sell Scentsy and to be able to have that extra income. So it's always good just to plant that seed. But another reason to talk to them about the opportunity is because for a host, this is a really key turning point. Now we're going to talk to them about not only the opportunity, but the concept of what we call flipping a party to that host. Some will call it maybe a decider party, flipping a party. I'm trying to think of maybe the different things I've heard it referenced as. Those are the only two standing out at me. What those refer to is simply this. Let's say Susan is my host, and Susan has already decided that her goal for her party is $500. And when I did her host coaching, I let her know, hey, just letting you know, if you are interested, I would love to have you join my team. I think that you would be an amazing addition to my team. And then maybe when you're closing the party and Susan hit her $500 mark, we can circle back to that conversation and just again finalize that planting of that seed to say, okay, here's the deal. Your party sales ended up at $500. I can input this party for you. You're going to get the host rewards. Oh, and so booked a party off of your party, so we've got another party coming up, so you're going to get another half price item. And look at all the things that you were able to get today with your rewards. You're going to go over that. And then you're going to say, have you thought any more about possibly joining my Scentsy team? Because what I could do is you can join right now online. It takes about, 15, 20 minutes? Fill out the page and the information, right? They can sign up, and then if you're there with them in person or if you're over the phone or what have you, then you're going to be able to show them how to take the orders from their party, and they are going to log into their workstation, and they're going to enter it as their own party. That's Susan's first party. What just happened at Susan's first party? Not only did she just sign up and you just earned yourself another team member, woo, but Susan already is halfway to certified. She is inputting a $500 order. So she's halfway to her first promotion, which is certified consultant. Because when you hit 1,000 cumulative PRV, you promote to a certified consultant. And instead of only getting paid at the 20% level, you are now going to get paid at the 25% commission level from now on. So that's a really good opportunity for Susan, isn't it? Do you see why it's important to plant that seed? I planted it in the beginning when we booked the party and did our initial host coaching. And then at the tail end, I circled back to it just to throw it out there and let her know the option. I got you. And so then that way she knows. And if she still decides that Scentsy is not for her, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? Because she's probably going to host another party for me. It's okay. And I'm going to remind her again the next time we do a party. Don't forget, the opportunity is always there. Join my team. I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, I'm on her team.
I will be more than happy to, on your next party, let you sign up. And then you can input these orders as your own. So it kind of gives them an incentive. And it actually... again, gets them off to a really great head start. They've already hit their shooting star goal because remember your shooting star is $500 in your first 15 days. So they've already done that. And again, they are halfway to certified. So it's an amazing way to start off your business to be able to do that. And so to be able to give that opportunity to your host is amazing. And you might be sitting out there going, yeah, but I was counting on that $500 towards my PRV. Yeah, that's not going to be your PRV anymore. But if you're looking to build a business, then that's what you want to do. Watch out, baby. My phone's back there. That's what you want to do simply because you, if you're building a business, are going to want to focus on team building. And in order to build your team, you're going to have to start asking people about the opportunity and about joining Scentsy.
Yeah.
So your hosts are going to be a really big part of that.
Scentsy.
So that's that other very important factor when we are talking about our host coaching. All right, go see if your show's back on.
Where did you get that picture?
I brought it from my office at work.
Yeah, where did I get that?
I don't know, baby. Hold on, let me finish this, okay?
Okay. Can I be at the end?
Huh?
Can I be at the end?
Yeah, I'll call you in. Okay. So, this is why host coaching is key. You also want to be sure, especially if this is a host who is not local to you. You want to be sure, because always what I do is at the end of my host coaching is when I will kind of give them the basics. Now, if I'm going to mail out a party, I did have, and I've lost them somewhere along the way, so I need to redo them. What I did have is I had like 3 or 4 copies, and I don't know, maybe they just went out in bag parties and I just didn't get them back. But what I had done is I had taken 4, so I had I get those laminating sheets that you can get at Staples, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, whatever. They're just laminating sheets, and you stick it down. They're like 2 big stickers, and you can laminate very easily with it. And that's what I use because it's easy and quick, and I don't have to pay extra for it. But what I did is I took some sample order forms, and I would actually fill them out, obviously with default, Daffy Duck as the customer information and all of that. But it was more of just a guide to how to fill out an order form, because especially for hosts who are not local to you, so if you're sending them a bag or a pouch party or what have you, whatever it is that you're doing, it even is helpful to your local host too. Found that out. But by being able to kind of show them what the order form looks like, it's a lot easier to understand. And so what I did on the ones that I had laminated up is I had already kind of written in there, I like drew arrows to give them the actual sales tax amount. So I would find out what their sales tax amount is and put it on there. And then reminding them, again, default information down here, just how to fill it out, because these order forms are amazing and wonderful. But I will tell you, the number one question that I get, even from people who I just, they're looking at a book and they want to place their order, and I'm like, oh, okay, here's an order form for you to fill out. Even they will look at it and they'll go, product code. Okay, where do I find the product code? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So what I did on the ones that I laminated, I kind of did like a big X through that column, and I just put description. How did I word it? Only description is needed here, something like that. And then so as a sample, I can't remember which warmer I used in my sample. I think it was the Calavera, whatever, doesn't matter. But I did a couple different examples of an actual, some products, and did an example of how I totaled it up. And then I also made sure that I filled out all these fields, because that's what I expect from them, because I want that information, because I want to follow up with their customers. And again, it was just an easy reference. You don't have to do that if that's not your thing. Certainly don't have to. It's just something that I did. Again, it was easy for me. I just bought a box of self-laminating stickers. Just comes in a big sheet, and they just look like stickers. You put your paper in between them, sandwich them together, and they're laminated. And that's what I use in my bag parties. So it reminds me, I need another box of laminating sheets at Target. I will get those this week. So that is a really great tip for your host. So that's something added and extra that you can do. If you don't want to take the time to laminate one, just take an order form, maybe photocopy it, and then you'll have one that you can use on a regular basis. And you can just actually put that piece of paper in, with the basket or pouch or whatever it is that you're giving them that they're going to walk around with. Because not only does it help your host to know, but it also is going to help the guests that are ordering through their party. The last thing that you want is to have a host who feels completely confused. So I always will end my host coaching with, if you have questions, don't hesitate to text or contact me. And that's simply because I don't want my host to feel the pressure or feel confused. And then, because what happens when they feel stressed or confused or anxious because they don't know what they're really doing and don't know how to answer some of the questions their guests are coming to, their enthusiasm for this party is going to go downhill quick, and that is not what we want. And so I will always recommend to them, if your customers have questions, you can give them my information as well, and I'm happy to answer any of your customers' questions they might have, as well as any that you might have that come up for you as the host. Because I want to take, again, the pressure off of them. I don't want them to feel like they're acting as a consultant out there for me. Because yes, they're doing a bag party for me. And yes, they're the ones walking around with my testers and walking around with my stuff and talking about the products for me. But at the same time, though, there's going to be those customers, and there always are in almost every party, there's those customers who just have that weird off the wall question. And if it's a newer host, it's not maybe quite as familiar with Scentsy, or even those seasoned ones, sometimes a question will just completely catch them out of the blue. Another one for those returning hosts is I always remind them, don't forget this is a new catalog. So when you're talking to your guests, make sure that they are ordering scents from this catalog. Because that is one thing that I have with my returning hosts is it never fail. And I think the last 2 times actually turned out well. I didn't have any come up, but in the ones before that, it never failed. She at least always had one order that would always have like 1 or 2 scents that were on there that were like from the catalog before. And I was like, oh man, I hate that. I hate making that phone call to say, oh, I know you really wanted Christmas Cottage, but it's discontinued, or whatever it was that they wanted. I hate having to do that because I don't want to break anybody's heart. I know people are very, very happy about their Scentsy and they want to stay that way. So when you do that initial host coaching, that's kind of what you want to be talking about. Again, if you're in person, so you're having that conversation, or if it's an out of state, like I said, I normally do an email, and then I'll, of course, follow up if I need to, however we're communicating. So if this is somebody that I text or talk with on the phone, or if I email them, or if I just know them through Facebook and that's how we communicate, I'll do it that way. I always keep the method of communication open, because the last question I will always ask them is, what is the best way to reach you? And then I always tell them the best way to reach me, because during the week, obviously between work and my home schedule and everything, texting is usually the best way to get a hold of me and get my attention. Unless I'm sitting down, have the Facebook notifications, even though I do have my Messenger, I don't have the notifications. So if it's a question that they have right away, I want them to be texting me, because I've got my phone with me. And so I'm able to answer those questions, or if I'm in the middle of teaching a class at work or doing a meeting or something, at least I can text back and just say, hey, I'm in a meeting, let me get with you afterwards, or something. But at least they feel like they're getting somewhere. And they know that I've seen them or heard their question. So it's really good to be able to get that same information from them, because it very well could be, and I have a couple of them. What's going on with my hair back here? I do have a couple of them that actually work overnight. And so I remember, because I didn't think of putting that in my host coaching when I finally started host coaching, until I had a host, because as I was talking to them, I remember that she came back, sent all this stuff to her, and she had I think she texted me back. She didn't email me back. She texted me back, and she goes, oh, by the way, I work the overnight shift, so I'm going to be getting the most of my orders and doing this mostly at night. So I understand if I can't if you don't answer if I call. And I wrote her back and I said, oh my gosh, well, coming from somebody who worked the overnight shift for 8 years in the emergency room, trust me, I know all about working that graveyard shift. And I know that they are wide awake at 3 a.m., but come 8 a.m. in the morning, done. So I certainly don't want to be calling and interrupting her when she's trying to sleep, and she didn't want to do the same to me. So we were able to very quickly go, no problem. Okay, here's the deal. You can go ahead and text me, because it doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m. or not, because my phone actually goes on Do Not Disturb at 10 p.m. every single night. So unless you're my husband or my mother, I'm not going to hear you when you call. That's okay. Still go ahead and text me, because I'll see it in the morning when I get up, and then I'll be able to get back with you. So do you want me to go ahead and email you? Would that be better to communicate back with you? And so we kind of went back and forth to find a really good rhythm. And I remember we were able to actually, she would text me whenever she had questions, and then let me know like when the party was done. And then I was able to give her a call like when she was on her way to work, because that's when she was alert. And just like we are in the morning, we get up and go to work and we're alert. at that time in the morning. And that's kind of how she was. So, you know, it's very important. Again, I didn't realize it was that important to ask that question, but it really was important because, again, all of us have different schedules. So just because 5 in the afternoon is a good time for me doesn't mean that 5 in the afternoon is going to be good for others. See where I'm going with that? Again, I'm trying to make it easy on my host. So you do that initial host coaching, however it is that you do it. You always want to, again, maintain that level of excitement. They were excited when they booked the party. They were excited when you talked about the host coaching, gave them all the info. And then if they've got a bag or a pouch party, they're walking around with that and they're excited. So now they're like, oh, look what I've got. I'm collecting orders. Maybe they're getting some stuff going, but you want to make sure that you're checking in with them, at least depending on how long your party's going. I don't recommend longer than 2 weeks. So I will usually touch base about every few days. And just, you know, any questions come up? Do you need anything? Do you want some more samples? If they're local, anything like that, you know, how can I help you? Don't forget, if your questions if your customers have any questions, they can contact me at any time, blah, blah, blah. And I will always try and do that check-in. And then at the end, of course, it's wrapping up and closing that party, letting them know what they've earned in their host rewards, seeing how close they are to their goal. Maybe they are only $75 away. So when you're wrapping up that party, rather than saying, oh, well, you didn't hit your goal, you're short $75. What are you going to do? Well, of course, you're going to do some extra host coaching. And you're going to say, you know what? We're only short $75. So let's go out there. All we need is 3 people to buy 6 packs of bars, and we got it. So let's do this. So you're able to coach her again because you knew what their goal was, right? You're able to get them to that point that they want to be, to get the host rewards that they want and that they really care about. So it's a big life cycle. And then what do you do after you do all that? Well, you put your host on your follow-up list, right? And then you begin the follow-up process of everything. It is the circle of Scentsy life. And it's a very fun circle of life to live in, because this is why I think Scentsy works so well, is because it truly is that consumable product that not only our hosts find rewarding with their host rewards, but they have so much fun with their customers and talking about scents. I promise you, they don't walk away with a bad experience. We're making that experience a positive one. And we're able to continue to have that repeat, not only host business, but also just business in and of itself, because our Scentsy is so great. And once they have warmers, what do they want? Now they want 3 packs and 6 packs. See how we're back in that circle of life. We're always circling that. So it's just keeping everything in rhythm. And you're going to find that as you do that, and as you put these things into play, you're going to find that by doing host coaching and really getting into it and getting excited about it, you want to definitely keep your excitement level up for those hosts, because it's just going to transfer to them, and then they're going to transfer it out to their guests. So keep that excitement level high, keep them in the know. If it's a time of year where maybe we've got a promotional item that maybe is selling out or has sold out, those are things that you definitely want to be letting your hosts know. So just anything that's coming up. And that's kind of brings us to the end of the host coaching. Again, it's a very important tool. It's a very important concept to be doing. And again, it's only going to drive up your host's party sales. So they are going to be able to get more of what they want. And then it also helps you as well, obviously. All right. So there's our host coaching. Thank you for joining us for Tuesday trainings. We are going to head out, and we are going to now, what are we going to do? Are we going to make dinner?
We are going to color together.
Okay, we're going to color together. So we're going to go color. We will see you guys next Tuesday.
Yay.
And next week is going to be all about marketing.
Yeah.
One of Jacqui's favorite topics. I love marketing. So we're going to be getting into that next Tuesday. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to put them down there in the comments. What do you do for your host coaching? I would love to hear from you guys as well. Let's get those ideas sharing.
Yeah, so
What are you doing? You're totally crawling all over my head. So until next Tuesday, peace, love, happiness. Bye.
bye. Peace out. Bye.